Jerusalem and the Spectre by William Blake. Jerusalem from Albion's side once wandered softly down beside where Arctic and Atlanta's tides beat hard the cliffs of Albion's rocky shore, where they anointed he and she before. Dawn's saffron bed was not yet laid, Aurora yet had lit the glade, where Albion still his slumber made. She often left her sleeping love to dream, while she would stroll and watch the morning gleam. Today her feet the shingle craved, the sand, the shale, the salty waves, and haply the cold winds did brave. Her naked majesty embraced the cold, her flesh was gay and young, though ages old. Her wine-dark hair about her blew, her cool grey eyes so straight and true, as they fixed on the copper hue that smouldered on the sea far to the east, as Los his sleeping forge's fires released. The grand woman then stepped into the icy waves where Triton flew, neath the waves with his aquatic crew. Her feet into the sand did gently sink, and from the seas her thirsty soul did drink. Jerusalem, so tall she stood, that even Urizen's great flood, by man endured in arcs of wood, rose no higher than her melodious throat. The grand humans had no need for a boat. The waves around her waist did play, and far behind the shore did lay. Night had yet given way to day. She bent her knees, and folded at the waist. She washed her hair, her tongue the salt did taste. But whilst submerged, her eyes descried a sight that she had never spied, a shadow, writhing, awfully sized, that swimming straight toward her air increased, swimming so fast it seemed it ne'er would cease. Up from the waves she raised her head, as quick as one starts from their bed when dreams become awash with dread. Her hair flew high and spread a salty rain, then sodden lashed her back with stinging pain. Her salt-stung eyes were wide and down, she cast her gaze, looked all around. Her ears heard naught, the wind did drown all sounds that from the ocean's murky deep might tell her what towards her now did creep. Sun, spread your rosy fingers, please, for then I might this monster see. She prayed as round about her knees Jerusalem felt a great snake swim by. She even thought she saw an ochre eye. She turned and set her sights on land, pulling her feet up from the sand. She fashioned oars from tight-cupped hands, and to the shore she strove with all her might, praying that beast would not impede her flight. But prayers were vain, she'd only taken 2 steps before her hopes were shaken. What ancient fiend had been awakened? The scaly beast, now close enough to see, double her size, between the shore and she. First she addressed the sky above, "Let out your light, your heat, your love, your wisdom, this dark beast remove." Then she to that Leviathan spoke firm, "Slay me, or speak your purpose, watery worm." Silence. Jerusalem exclaimed, "If you won't speak, reveal your frame, so that I might guess your foul name." Silence a while, but then the waves all heaved. She disbelieved what her eyes then perceived. A shimmering hulk with tooth and claw, with barnacles around its maw, with eyes like false angelic doors. Its dexterous tail then formed a mighty hook, then round her waist she felt that slimy crook. It pulled her with that slick tail taut. Andromeda was not so caught. In vain Jerusalem then fought, dragged through the waves, that beast fixed her in place. Its briny breath blew foul upon her face. In the half-light that yet did burn and blaze, for yet the world had turned, Jerusalem's keen eyes discerned a strange opacity in that foul beast. Its flesh the light admitted and released. Speak, captor, if you've courtesy, reveal your origins to me. What mighty Zoa crafted thee? Surely no mortal hand or eye dare frame your fearful symmetry. Have you a name? She asked, and then the beast's great jaw began to shake, and from that maw came speech encased in awful roar. My ancient genesis I've all forgot. A name that you can call me I have not. Unsatisfied, Jerusalem questioned that monster once again. Your faulty memory's no problem. You must remember how you spend your days, your comings, your goings. Tell me your ways. The world over I cover quick, devouring till I feel quite sick. In no one place I ever stick. Though it's not fleshly hunger that compels, a coarser force within my soul propels. Jerusalem, always perceptive, her senses wide, always receptive, held back her thoughts and asked, deceptive, O beast, to me you are a mystery. So say, what force propelled you toward me? The beast with a suspicious glance looked at Jerusalem askance, but let their dialogue advance. I sensed your will unfettered from afar. I always know where the unbridled are. The sky each second more was lit, illuminating under it the strange flesh on which she did sit. Though it between she and the shore did stand, Jerusalem, through it, could see the land. One final question, if I may, before we see the full dawned day, then with me you can have your way. Tell me, have you ever known satisfaction, or is your hunger a ceaseless distraction? The beast chuckled with narrowed eyes, and speaking as if to disguise some painful truth, the beast replied, It's plain to you that I am ravenous, and it's plain too my hunger's cavernous. But yes, my appetite is sated when I devour what is most hated. My hunger's then briefly abated. But long, too long we've talked, no more delay. Jerusalem the Grand will fall today. As it her spirit sought to rend, Jerusalem's long-longed-for friend, Aurora did her throne ascend. The grand woman let out a mighty roar, and from her lips this mighty spell did pour. Foul beast, you are a spectrous shade, by harsh vindictive justice made, and always fading, never fade. All things you go before, all things you weigh, in scales that always show a price to pay. You are what man perceives and calls the only rule, the law of all, to which man builds his hellish halls, and therein let their own spectres preside, over unfettered life and sin decide. You are the salt water that's poured upon the tree of ancient law, which breeds the bitter fruit they hoard. They call it mercy when they share that wealth, but pity is a trade, corrupting health. You all this glorious world divide into two false opposing sides, and then your separation hide. So all who see your passing do agree that it is good and true, and couldn't not be. And yet, lost spectre, I'll refrain from joining in your childish game. I'll not my hands with your ways stain. Begone from me, and know you are forgiven. With that last word, the spectre's heart was riven. The spectre sank beneath the swell, Jerusalem down splashing fell. Eager this frightful tale to tell, to Albion she swam quickly back to land, and smiled as she stepped on the sun-warmed sand. The furnaces of Los did blaze, the spectre swam its murky ways, and Albion's sleeping eyes did gaze upon Jerusalem's still glistening form, that looked bejewelled in radiant morn.